Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently wiggling our way over to Duna. It's slightly awkward, but it's fine. Really, what we probably should do is turn off our reaction wheel authority up here for now. I don't want to turn off this reaction wheel, though. This is our only running reaction wheel, if that's the case. So we should probably just keep it something like that. Now we're heading off to Duna, and we're going to add a maneuver here. So we're just going to see how we go pushing out here. This is interacting with the moon awkwardly. We may have to wait in orbit here. Okay, that's not interacting with the moon. So that's good. We need to have this guy open, and I want to take a look here at how this is. Okay, we're already pushing out there. How's our timing? Not ideal. Okay, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way then. Cool. So we're just going to make our way out over here for now. That'll be absolutely fine. Let's head on over to the node. And of course, in order to miss the moon... Ooh, I do not like the way that that's physics warping. I do not like the way that that's physics warping at all. Yeah, that's actually quite bad. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. We're going to warp over to here, approximately. Just getting over to the node. Close enough. Now I'm going to have Tanley EVA here. Oh, wait. No, this is fine. We have struts right here. We're going to have Tanley EVA here, and we're going to hop on over this direction. And we're going to look to get some of these struts strutted down here. This needs to get fixed. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to grab this and see if we can get it to connect here. Nope, that's a negative. Okay. We only need to get like a couple of them connected, right? That doesn't go. Let's try this again. That works. Okay, cool. I'm going to try one over on the far side here. Just trying to alter our movement a little bit. So apparently connecting here works. Okay. There's one. So that's 3 done there. And I want to get one more. So I'm going to do... If I can just alter our movement here slightly. I'm going to do this one. So we're going to connect this here and then down to... That one didn't go. So here and down to here. Nope, still not going. Tinley's kind of drifting off right now, but we'll just keep trying here until we find a variant that actually works. There we go. That'll do. So that's 4 connected up there. That should give us enough stability. So we're going to head back over this direction and hop back in. Behold the power of engineers. Cool. So we're going to hop back in here. We need to exit Kerbal Engineer mode. That's not the right button. Kerbal Engineer mode. There we go. And we're going to grab on here as soon as we get the ability to. We're a little far away still, apparently. Okay. There we go. Grab that and board. Cool. So we are in, and in theory, this should be much more stable now. Let's head on over to the node. I'm not convinced that that's more stable. Okay. Well, we're going to warp through here. This is going to be the majority of this fuel. And of course, we had to do a full orbit in order to avoid the moon. Okay. Let's just head on over. I'm going to try to avoid physics warping while we've got this on. It's only going to be a minute burn, so that shouldn't be too bad. Okay, cool. Little bit further here. Just doing it manually. Okay, there we go. Looks good. We're going to warp forward a little bit here. 3, 2, 1, and mark. Going to put this on kill rot here. But I'm actually going to turn the gimbal off on the main sail. We're picking up a bit of a rock, which is expected, fully expected. Let's see what happens if we physics warp here. Okay, I don't like that. I'm going to quick save in case we crack in. One thing we might want to consider doing is running a strut from here to here. That might be where some of this instability is coming from. After this burn, we'll go do that with some of our extra struts here. Let's get the burn finished for now. We'll head on over to the node. I just don't want to gimbal this engine while we're doing that sort of maneuvering, right? So I just want the engine to be going in the correct direction. That's the goal here. Okay, we'll call this good enough, and yep, that'll do. Now, if we were to come out up here and just push our periapsis up, the timing is terrible. So we would instead look to do something kind of like this, circularizing. Okay. It's only a 0.1 degree inclination difference between Kerbin and Duna, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. I'm going to have Tanley EVA again here, and we're going to go see about shoring up this connection down over here. Okay, just come to a stop, please, Tanley. Thank you. That's close enough. And we're going to grab this guy, and we're just going to connect here and here. Okay. Let's come on down over to this side. We only have 6 of these, so we can only grab this one and connect that here to here. So we're just trying to add some extra support here, right? Whoa, okay, we bounced pretty good there. Slightly unexpected, but we'll just head on back in from here. We got what we needed done. And hopefully... Oh, Tanley is doing that thing where she refuses to turn with the camera? No, she's not. She's not. I'm just dumb. Cool. So we're just going to hop on in over here. There we go. We'll board, and we're heading on over to the node. So let's see how we are with that additional stability. Oh, that's so much better. Yep, this joint was the problem, not this one. Cool. So now that we know that, that's absolutely great. We should be fine to physics warp again, and we have about a 300-day time warp here. So goodbye, Kerbin. We are leaving. Post-haste. And we've got another burn right up over here. Is this going to burn this entire tank? Not quite, actually. It's going to get pretty close, but we're not quite going to be there. It is, however, going to be a fairly lengthy warp. I was about to say time to put a cut in, but it's not time for that at all. It's a fairly lengthy warp, so I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so here we are with the time warp just ended. We are going to be commencing this burn in about a minute, so we can definitely warp a little bit further forward. 50 seconds, 40, 30, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1, mark. Cool. So we're going to push out our periapsis here and just look to circularize this. This is going to burn out the majority of the remaining fuel in this tank. So that will be absolutely great to be shifting over to our nuclear engine. Boy, with a refueling station at Duna, we can definitely go quite a long ways. Like a ridiculously long ways. Okay, this last little bit here. Good enough. I don't really care about being like a meter per second overshooting. That's absolutely fine. We're now going to be looking for an intercept with Duna. So what would it look like over here? Not amazing. Perhaps after an orbit, but let's see what it would look like over this way. Yeah, that timing isn't good. It's almost like we didn't measure when we were launching this at all or something, which is remarkable, I know, but no, we don't want any normal in that. I'm trying to drag the position, thanks. So it looks like we're going to have to wait in orbit. That did not actually wait in orbit. There we go. So if we wait in orbit there, that's pretty close. So we'd want it to be right around here. And we can dial that in. Okay. No, I don't need normal here. Well, maybe we do actually. It's 0.1 degrees off, but no, look at that timing. Cool. So that's much better. Let's see what this actual encounter looks like. I mean, it's not an amazing encounter, right? We can certainly toss in some anti-normal here. And bring up our inclination a bit. But it's still not going to be perfect. I don't expect it to be perfect, though. And then we can bring this right on in. Let's see. We're currently going this direction, which would be correct. We're coming in here and exiting here. So that looks good. And we would look to set this periapsis at somewhere like 1.5 million. This looks like a good encounter here. We can definitely work with this. Yeah, that'll be fine. It will burn off the remainder of the fuel in our mainsail, but that's absolutely fine. No concerns there. Really, we can be gimbaling again with the mainsail at this point. So that looks good. We might have to do a bit of a corrective burn, but let's just get into position for this. And this is going to be a quite long burn. Or rather, a quite long time warp. Almost 3 years. So, good thing they have Ketflix for this part of the trip. Off we go, but it's going to be a bit. And I will see you guys in just a moment, because I'm not going to make you sit through that. Okay, so here we are at long last with that time warp over. That was a heck of a time warp. That took probably 10 minutes? I don't know. It was a while. I didn't time it, but it was quite a while. We're going to warp forward a little further here. 10 seconds, and 3, 2, 1, and mark. So off we go with our last little bit of mainsail fuel here. There we go. And we're on the nuclear engine. Beautiful. So, of course, we're perfectly stable from here, for sure. We've got a lot of Delta V left in this thing. This could get there and get back to Kerbin without refueling. I'm pretty certain on that, but that's not the route that we're going to go here. We may as well refuel since we're going to be there, right? So that'll be absolutely fine. We'll see what our final burn ends up looking like. It'll be a little bit different than this, of course, as we would expect with differing... Whoa, okay. That was exciting. Let's warp around here, and we'll do a small correction. It looks like we're going to have to thrust limit here. So let's get that done. Thrust limiting that down to 0.5%. And let's see what this is looking like. Maybe 0.5% is too low. That said, maybe not. So we're coming in on the wrong side here. We're definitely going to have to turn this around. It was very, very sensitive coming through previously. No doubt about that. So let's just bring this around. We definitely don't want to be coming through retrograde. That's going to mean a lot of extra Delta V. So we're going to bring this right on around 0.5 meter per second to go here in theory. Why is this marked as a station or as a lander? I don't know. So around we go here, and we're just bringing this right on out. And perfection. That'll do. So from here, of course, we're going to add a maneuver. This is going to be a circularization maneuver. And then we'll do an inclination change, and then we'll look to do a rendezvous. Nice and simple. Cool. So that will be that maneuver there. This is going to be in 400 days. Let's just get aligned for that, and then we're going to have another mega time warp. But this should be the last mega time warp. So that's good. We're going to get that started, and as usual, I will see you guys in just a moment near the end of this time warp. Okay, so here we are much, much closer to the end of the time warp. And I did remember partway through that time warp to unthrust limit this engine. So it's only going to be a 42-second burn. Here we are in the sphere of influence of Duna. Hi, Duna. And we're just going to get aligned to the node here. There we go. Let's warp forward a little further. 40 seconds. 30, 20, 10 coming out of the warp, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and mark. There we go. We can definitely physics warp this burn. That's absolutely fine to do. Okay. I may have overshot it a bit. I was more focused on coming out of the warp than I was on stopping the burn. We definitely should change this. Our periapsis is too low now. We can't get an easy intercept. Well, we can, but we don't have a way to guarantee it as easily. So I'm fine with burning the 13 meters per second. It's not a big deal. There, that'll do. So that's all great. At this point, we can see our inclination is kind of wild. And so is our orbit. That's exciting. I didn't expect it to be quite like this. I guess we should go for like some sort of a radial burn here. Yeah, this should definitely be a radial burn. And we should go for something a bit more along the lines of this. Even though that's not exactly where we want it to be, let's adjust this burn a little bit. Okay, this is probably close enough, to be honest. Yeah, this'll do. So we're going to do a very, very minor radial burn here, just because things got weird. It maybe had to do with the time warp. It maybe had to do with me messing up. Hard to say. So we're going to warp a little bit forward here, and we'll make a small correction to this burn. It's still not going to be perfect, but it's close enough. After this, we're going to have to do an inclination change, of course, which is absolutely fine. We've got 3,000 delta V left in this thing. We've got so much delta V. Overshot it a tiny bit, but that's fine. I don't really care. We've got 40 meters per second to go. 30, 20, 10, and just bring this on down a little bit. Cool. That'll do. So this is much more circularized. We don't need it to be perfectly circular. I just didn't like how the apoapsis was so far out from this orbit than the periapsis. I just want it to be relatively circular around the Duna Station core. So we'll set the Duna Station core as our target. We're actually basically at the descending node right now. Let's go to normal up. And let's see if we can get an inclination change going on here. Other way. I'm dumb. Normal down. So anti-normal, let's go. We're a little past the ascending node now, probably, but it's probably close enough. Yeah, for the moment, it'll do. Okay, that's good enough for now, and then we'll head over to here. This will need to be normal up by the time we get there. And let's actually just finish this rotation. Normal will remain normal, so that's fine. We're just going to position at the normal there, and we'll head on over to here. And we'll get that last 0.6%. I would have done this via maneuver if we weren't directly on the node as it was. But we happen to be there, so that's fine. Cool. So we're now in plane. And from here, we can look for an intercept. Should be a nice and easy thing. So we can see that this timing is not ideal by any means, but we can just bring this right on around. I'm not sure why we're having these massive lag spikes right now. That's exciting. But we can bring this around to somewhere like here. Separation of 2.7 kilometers. We can maybe dial that in, but we really don't need to. That's good enough. We'll do corrective burns on the way in, and seems fine. 35.9 meters per second. Let's do it. We're going to head on around here. And we are going to warp. About 3 hours till our burn. And this looks fine. Absolutely great here. Okay, burn coming up shortly. In about 1 minute, we'll warp a little further. 40 seconds, 30, 20, 10, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and mark. Okay, that'll do. That should be close enough. 2.1 kilometers, 59.9 meters per second relative speed. Wow, that's not even very much relative speed. Okay, that looks good. So from here, we want to go over to target velocity minus. So this is relative velocity, I believe. That's going to be up over here. And if we go to target mode, yep, that's target retrograde. Cool. So we're going to warp on over this direction. That's still in physics warp. That's going to take a while. We're going to time warp on over this way. And hopefully this update isn't real. No, this is going to be fine. Yeah, 1.8 kilometers now, so even closer. So there's our target, 41 kilometers away right now. As we zoom on in here, we can see it is there. Cool. So we can just do some corrective burns here. So right now, if we wanted to do a corrective burn, we would just position about here and push that right onto the node like that. And then we can warp in for a bit. Cool. So we're just going to head on in here. We're about 30 kilometers out, 25. And then we can do another corrective burn here as we approach. So we can see here that the node is drifting off. So in order to correct that, we would come up over here and just do a little bit of a gentle burn like this. We're bleeding off relative speed, and we are adjusting our trajectory to be even closer. So that's all absolutely fine. For now, we'll continue to warp on in. And once again, we can see them drifting apart. That is absolutely normal. We'll make another small corrective burn here. Very, very gentle burn. There we go. We can now see the station. Cool. We should probably just switch over to relative velocity minus at this point. We're 400 meters away. 250. And let's just kill our relative speed. Get that last little bit done there, but we don't turn very quickly with this thing. That's definitely a downside here. We're not all that maneuverable. So for now, we're just going to bring this in alongside here. I'm actually okay with continuing to come in for a little bit here. Let's reduce our speed gently here. It's down to about 2 meters per second. 1 meter per second. Okay, that's about half a meter per second there. Let's warp in a little bit further. And yes, we could continue to move towards the target the way we did with corrective burns before, but I'm okay with this positioning. So now we're going to kill our relative speed, and we are going to set... Actually, do we want to set, like, this top docking port as our target? Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do that. We will control from here, and now we want to point at target. Beautiful. And all this monoprop just, you know, wasting weight right now. But we're going to be using it very shortly here. So let's get rotated about like this. There we go. And now we're going to flop over here. We're going to set this as target, and we're going to control from here. I want to extend you out. And we want to be pointing at target, please. Don't go to whatever normal you are on. That wouldn't be ideal. So we're going to continue to point to target. The question is this going to continue to turn while we don't have it focused with MechJeb? I think it will. Maybe not. No, I think it is. Pretty sure it is. So they're going to point directly at each other. Let's swap over here. Yep, it is pointing directly at the other one. Cool. I want to align our solar panels just a wee bit. And we're going to go in at about 0.2 meters per second. So, I'm going to use RCS to adjust our actual heading here. There we go. Cool. So we want to be on target plus here. We're just going to very, very gently move in. We could definitely use RCS to accelerate us a bit. Up to about 0.5 meters per second. That'll do the trick. And it'll be a little bit before we get there, and we can do just minor corrections if we need to, but this trajectory looks decent to me. Just made a very, very small tweak to it there. But no, this looks good. Beautiful. So we're docked up. Absolutely great. Now, we're going to turn Smart ASS off. We're going to kill all rotation. This is not going to be very stable, and this is not intended to stay here long term either. So we're going to grab some fuel out of some of these side tanks here. And we're going to refuel. There we go. Just get this topped off. Perfect. So there's all of that done. Now we're going to need to transfer a crew member around. So we're going to have Tanley EVA. First things first, I want to move this guy onto the station proper. So we're going to grab this, and where are we going to put it? Where indeed? We could just slap it out here for temporary. Sure, that seems fine. So now we're going to let go, and we're going to head down over this way. We're going to transfer over, but we don't have crew capacity to do it from the interior. So we're just going to do it from the exterior here. There we go. That looks good. We'll move that into another location later, I think. So I don't know why it maxes the zoom like that. It's very strange, but whatever. We'll transfer our done hat here over to, no, not EVA. We're going to transfer you over to here. There we go. And now we should be able to have Tanley hop on into her station here. Fantastic. She is now crewing the station. And honestly, these guys are done here. They're ready to head home. It is, however, time to put a cut in. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to do the return trip for Valentina and crew. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.